Vocal hygiene is a core component of voice therapy. Let's learn about how to get the most mileage out of your voice. First on our list is hydration. Imagine the difference between a grape and a raisin. These are like your vocal folds. When your vocal folds are hydrated, they are juicy, plump, and vibrating, making nice full contact so you get a good quality sound wave coming out. If your vocal folds are shriveled up like raisins because you're dehydrated, that allows excessive air escape and is going to add more noise frequencies to the complex sound wave. So drink that water. Certain medications, including antihistamines, can cause dryness in your body. My allergies have been acting up lately, and boy, do I notice a difference in the effort it takes for me to speak all day and do therapy. So even though I need my antihistamines, I also need to stay extra hydrated. The condition of the air you breathe also matters. So if you're in a place that is dry or heated, consider buying a mister or humidifier to help lubricate the vocal folds and give you your most effortless voice. You also want to limit your exposure to airborne irritants. Smoke, dust, pollution, exhaust, paint fumes, hairspray, and perfumes can all irritate your vocal tract. So trying to maximize good air quality is important for your voice. I thought it was interesting to learn that the use of lozenges can numb the sensation in your throat, and therefore it could potentially mask issues that are going on with your voice. Milk and ice cream are known to thicken saliva and create the need for excessive throat clearing, and excessive throat clearing is vocally abusive. So be mindful about how you consume dairy products. Also, most people are familiar with gastroesophageal reflex or GERD. Fewer people are familiar with laryngopharyngeal reflex or LPR. Laryngopharyngeal reflex is where the stomach contents come all the way up the esophagus to the level of your vocal folds. That's why it's called laryngo for larynx, pharyngeal for pharynx and throat. LPR, laryngopharyngeal reflex. I'll go over strategies about how to manage LPR effectively in a different video. Good vocal hygiene includes stopping bad habits. We know coughing or clearing your throat excessively is vocally abusive. In a bit, I will teach you strategies that you can use instead of coughing or clearing your throat. Yelling, screaming, or cheering when people squeeze their muscles too tight here instead of pushing with their diaphragm and their abdominals, it causes too much tension, which misuses and abuses your delicate vocal folds. I'm not telling you not to cheer, but can you find different ways, like those obnoxious hand clappers, or the deaf community does this because they can't hear clapping, or you could snap. There's lots of different alternatives, even whistling. You can still make lots of noise without using your voice. I was interested to learn about different types of vocal misuse. For example, we know in a different video about easy onsets and linking that hard glottal attacks, when your vocal folds come together, it's like they're slamming together. So easy onsets and linking helps us eliminate a lot of those hard glottal attacks. I'll give you an example. I eat oranges every day. It's that the valving that you can hear. That's a hard glottal attack. Using unnatural pitches. Sometimes people, for various reasons, want to either speak in a higher pitch or a lower pitch. Maybe they're acting, maybe they're playing, maybe it has to do with gender transition. For lots of reasons, people may fluctuate or change the pitch of their voice. Be sure to consult a speech language pathologist so you can find a way to do it in a way that minimizes vocal misuse. Allowing the voice to drop too low into glottal fry. And that happens because you're not pushing sufficient air through. By simply blowing more air through, now all of a sudden I've gotten rid of that vocal fry. Talking in a monotone pitch is also taxing and it misuses the muscles in your voice. Think about how difficult it is to hold a wall squat compared to doing active squats. Some people have the habit of using low-pitched fillers like which again relates to pitch misuse. The next one seems kind of harsh. Avoid prolonged and loud laughing or crying. I mean, if you gotta cry, you gotta cry. And crying releases pain-killing chemicals, so I am all for that. However, stress and emotions can cause muscle tension in your neck, throat, chest, jaw, and face. So everything in moderation. Obviously, if you're really distressed, let those tears leak out. but for the sake of your voice, try to be mindful of how aggressively you are crying. I used to be made fun of for the way I laugh. I don't even remember how I used to do it, otherwise, I'm sure I would show it off. But I can attest firsthand it is possible to change your laugh, even though it seems like, but that's not something I can control. It is to an extent. You just have to work at it. In noisy situations where there's a lot of background noise, again, it's tempting for you to squeeze too hard here to project your voice so you can be heard over the background noise. Instead, try to reduce the background noise or wait until the noise is over before speaking, like if there's a jet flying overhead. Also, position yourself as close as possible to the person you're speaking with. Avoid talking over long distance. Instead of yelling across the house to get your kids' attention, go and talk to them or come up with a nonverbal signal like either 3 whistle blows lets them know that you need them to come to you if you're cooking, for example, and can't leave to go find them. Whatever you do, don't whisper. Whispering causes a posterior glottal chink, which means some of your vocal folds are closed, but then at the end, there is like a small triangular opening between your vocal folds. This is an extremely tense position for your voice because your muscles are working in opposite ways to keep some of your vocal folds closed while maintaining the back part open. Do not whisper. Talking for too long is a misuse of your voice. This is tricky. It is my job to talk all day, every day, just like it is for teachers and salespeople. There are tons of people who have to talk every day, all day. On days you know are going to be particularly busy or particularly challenging, plan your periods of vocal rest. And also vary the way you are presenting materials. Can you do overheads or can you record something in advance and show a video? Can you complete board work? Can you give handouts, etc.? Everything is harder when you're tired. This is the same for your voice. When your throat is dry, if you're overtired or under severe emotional strain, it's going to be challenging for you to speak as effortlessly, and you're probably going to end up straining or misusing the muscles here. In other videos, we've gone over the importance of relaxing your muscles, specifically your upper chest. We want to disengage these muscles and resort only to diaphragmatic breathing. That's why we also do our stretches and massages for our jaw, our neck, and our throat to get them in the optimally relaxed place so that we can produce our most effortless voice. Some people have bad habits, like they hold their breath without realizing it, or they take quick, shallow breaths, either due to chronic incorrect posture or chronic stress. You just develop the habit of shallow chest breathing. Some people breathe beyond their natural breath cycle. As they start to run out of air, instead of replenishing their breath, they just keep talking and talking until they tap into their residual lung volume, which then results in you pushing and straining to get your voice out when you should really just stop and take a breath and replenish sooner. If you are a chronic jaw clencher, or if you carry a lot of stress and tension in your jaw, generally speaking, you need to mindfully unclench your jaw, get good range of motion. It might surprise you how tense you are when you try to do the masseter massage in a different video. It's incredible to see. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize how reduced my range of motion was until I stretched it out, and now I went from this to this. This handout is too wordy for me, so I rewrote it in a chart form. So here's most of the same information, just presented in a visually nicer way for my brain. A healthy voice results from a combination of healthy voice behaviors and a healthy environment. So here are good behaviors that we want to encourage, and here are the poor behaviors that we want to eliminate as much as possible. I will draw your attention to what you can do instead of clearing your throat. First of all, you can just gather some saliva in your mouth and do a hard swallow. Sometimes that hard swallow is enough to clear away any mucus or particulates in the area that are causing the irritation. The next strategy is sip some water. Will the water wash away any of the irritation that's there? The third technique is called the hard H cough. So we're talking about the sound that the letter H makes, but it's a hard H. So if we think we want to get our vocal folds really close together, but not squeezed shut, and we're going to force air through by clenching our diaphragm and our abdominals, and we're going to abruptly force air up and out like this. There is no audible closure of my vocal folds because I'm not valving. They are staying apart and I'm just blowing air through. And the goal of this is to eject anything that is truly going down into your lungs. The force of air will push it up and out without the need to valve with that hard glottal attack. Finally, the last technique you can try is humming. Sometimes the vibration and the stimulation just from humming with your vocal folds is enough to appease that irritating sensation. Some of this information was brought to you by the Western Teaching Support Center, Your Voice and Good Vocal Hygiene. There's your checklist for vocal hygiene in a nutshell. Good luck and take care of that voice.